can do things financially that would be very bad for Russia.
Summer is coming, and it could be a summer of diplomacy. Top officials are racking up the air miles, capitals are buzzing, and peace is on the agenda. It's a welcome change after 3 years of intense fighting. The question is, can it deliver? As we speak, US officials are in Moscow. The delegation is led by Trump's trusted advisor / golf buddy, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. He visited Moscow last month as well. He held talks with Vladimir Putin for almost 3 hours, and now he's back in the Russian capital, this time with a much bigger mission: to convince Russian President Putin to accept a ceasefire, a 1-month pause in the war. That's what they want Putin to accept. In the past, Putin has rejected such short-term plans. He has preferred a final deal. So all eyes are on the Russian president on whether he will agree or not. And the initial signs are not good. A Kremlin aide says there is nothing for Russia in this deal. He is calling it temporary respite for Kiev.
This proposed ceasefire is nothing other than a temporary respite for the Ukrainian military. Our goal is a long-term peace settlement. And we are looking forward to a peace settlement which takes into account our legitimate interests and our concerns which are known. Nobody needs steps which imitate a peaceful path.
Some reports say Moscow has set certain conditions, and 3 of them stand out. Condition number 1, no NATO membership for Ukraine. Condition number 2, no foreign troop deployments, even as peacekeepers, no foreign troops in Ukraine. And number 3, global recognition of Russia's control over all occupied regions. That includes Crimea, Donbass, and the whole East. Russia was asked about these demands, but they refused to confirm or reject them.
No, I can neither confirm or comment. I can only repeat once again that there is a huge amount of information that does not correspond to reality, which only corresponds to reality in small parts.
These latest reports may be false, but these demands are not new. Putin has been raising them since the war started, in fact, even before the war. So from the looks of it, he still prefers a comprehensive deal, not a temporary pause in fighting. But Kiev may not like that. They see this truce as a stepping stone to eventual peace. President Zelensky made that clear yesterday. He wants to use the 1-month pause to draw up a peace plan.
These 30 days are given to prepare a draft. We have our proposals, but we will draft the steps that we will agree on with our allies and formats of security guarantees which Ukraine will have after the war is over.
So there's good news and bad news. The good news is talks are finally happening. There is a serious effort to end this war. The bad news is nobody is budging. Russia has not climbed down from their initial demands, and why would they? They have all the battlefield advantage. Meanwhile, Ukraine has agreed to start talks, but they are insisting on security guarantees. Europe and the US may support this, but Russia will not. So what is the way forward? How do you break this deadlock? The US president says he is getting positive signals, but if Russia refuses, he's got a plan B. Pile on the economic pressure.
There are things you could do that wouldn't be pleasant in a financial sense. I can do things financially that would be very bad for Russia. I don't want to do that because I want to get peace. I want to see peace, and we'll see. But in a financial sense, yeah, we could do things very bad for Russia. It would be devastating for Russia.
Russia is under thousands of sanctions, yet they are growing faster than G7 nations. So the stick approach is unlikely to work. More sanctions may not help. But Trump could also dangle a carrot. Maybe offer sanctions relief in exchange for a ceasefire. Of course, the final decision will be Putin's. Even if he agrees to the truce, there is a lot of work to be done. First, to implement the pause. We are talking about a very long front line here, almost 1,000 kilometers of it, plus a vast naval front in the Black Sea. How do you patrol and monitor such a vast front line? Europe is preparing for that job. Their defense ministers gathered in Paris yesterday. They had twin goals to achieve. The first was to create a roadmap for European defense. The second was to draw up plans for Ukraine.
Our Army Chiefs of Staff will draw up plans adapted to this ceasefire plan, but the ball is now in Vladimir Putin's court. It's up to him to show the readiness he has always talked about in terms of a ceasefire.
That's the first step, monitoring any eventual truce. The second step is drafting a peace plan. That will require a lot of diplomacy, a lot of pressure campaigns, and a lot of concessions. Europe's role will be crucial in that process, sort of like a good cop, bad cop situation. Trump can obviously play the bad cop as well, but Europe can be the good cop. Slowly but surely, nudging Ukraine towards concessions. The idea that every side can get what it wants is wishful thinking. There will have to be give and take. Putin's response to this truce plan will give us some more clues.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs. And that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.